Hey, Medhavy here. Professor Bear has been building tools, a lot of them. Not featured demos, not software showcases. Tools built to make one specific thing happen. The moment when a learner realizes they're actually thinking, not just completing. If you've seen something in a Medhavy video tag, tools or Bear, this is where it all lives. This video is the map. Here's the thing we're honest about. If you're using any of these tools because someone made you, because they're assigned, required, mandated, and you'd close the tab the second you could, then they haven't worked. That's not a caveat. That's the design brief. Every tool in this suite is built to earn its keep with the person doing the actual learning, not to manage them, not to surveil them, to help them think better. So let's talk about what that actually looks like. The learning experience, tool by tool. CRITIQ is where you go when you have a paper, yours or someone else's, and you want to know whether it actually holds together. But here's what makes it a learning tool, not just a review tool. It has a brainstorm command that takes raw curiosity and turns it into a research question, and a learn command that explains research terminology in plain language on demand in context. You don't have to know the vocabulary before you start. You learn it while you work. WAYPOINT is for the learners who are out in the world, co-op placements, clinical rotations, study abroad, apprenticeships. The experience is real. What's often missing is the reflection. WAYPOINT evaluates your reports not just for compliance. Did you fill in the form? But for genuine developmental reflection. It reads for the difference between I did tasks and here's what those tasks changed about how I think. That's the gap it's designed to close. MEGA is for quantitative learners, finance, statistics, economics, data science. It doesn't just reformat exercises, it teaches you when to use which prompting strategy with an AI, direct, step-by-step, or multi-LLM, which means it's teaching you how to think alongside a tool, not just how to use one. That's a skill that will outlast any specific problem set. Courses take source material and builds learning artifacts, slides, storyboards, worked examples using backwards design and Bloom-style outcomes. If you've ever been handed a reading with no idea what you were supposed to get from it, Courses is the answer to that problem built into the design process. And then there's the experiment underneath all of it. No one knows what the right AI approach to learning looks like. Not yet. The impact of AI on learning is obvious. The correct implementation is not Medhavy doesn't pretend otherwise. It runs a continuously controlled experiment on learner outcomes and on the AI models themselves as they change. Every tool you use here is part of that experiment. What's working? What's not? What changes when the underlying model shifts? All of it visible, all of it honest. But these tools don't appear out of nowhere. Someone built the learning experience the learner walks into. Let's talk about them. Building a course is slow. Building a good course, one with a coherent arc, outcomes that mean something, assessments that don't just test recall, is genuinely hard. And then the AI you built around changes, and something you designed 6 months ago no longer works the way you thought it would. That's the instructor's problem. Here's what Professor Bear built to solve it. Syllabus is a full syllabus architect. It doesn't just format your outline. It works through course concept, learning outcomes, sequencing, assessment, architecture, accessibility, and the actual experience of navigating the course as a student. The output is a syllabus that works for learners, not just a policy document. Tic TOC goes a level deeper. It's built for textbook architecture, chapter sequence, backward design from learning outcomes, the logic of what learners need to know before they can know the next thing. If you're building a course that lives in a book, this is where you start. Bookie picks up where Tic TOC leaves off. It writes MSc textbook chapters, using a phenomenon-first pedagogical approach. The chapter starts with something the learner can observe or encounter, and the theory follows from that, not the other way around. The through line across all three. The instructor's creation path is explicit. You're not filling in a template, you're making decisions. And the tools are structured, so the right decisions come first. What the institution receives is a consequence of what the learner chose and the instructor built. It doesn't work the other way. Here's what that looks like in practice. What the suite gives institutions. An institution deploying this suite gets documented, evidence-based learning outcomes at every stage. WAYPOINT produces reflection records that are genuinely auditable for accreditation. CRITIQ produces paper histories that show development, not just final drafts. Syllabus produces syllabi built to accessibility and policy standards from the start. What you don't have to do is retrofit those standards onto a learning experience that wasn't designed with them in mind. The compliance layer is built into the tool logic, not bolted on at the end. And the transparency principle applies here too. Every tool in this suite is part of Medhavy's ongoing experiment. Institutions can see what's being tested, what changed in the underlying AI, and what the data says about learner outcomes. That's not a feature. That's the condition under which trust becomes possible. Without transparency, there is no trust. Without trust, there is no learning. If you want to explore any of these tools, look for the tag tools or bear in the Medhavy video library. That's how Professor Bear's tool suite is marked. And if you want to go deeper on any one of them, CRITIQ, WAYPOINT, syllabus, Tic TOC, mega courses is Bookie. Each one can be learned just by inputting help. The full library lives at Medhavy AI.